Okay, we're going into our next reading. Okay, we're going to recall us to order. We are in the Sibylline Hall of Justice, the Cosmic Hall of Justice. Right. So let's continue. I'm going to do an overlap like I did before. Okay. So we stopped off on, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn, for no man buyeth any merchandise anymore. Okay. So we're going to start from there. The merchants of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and of fine linen, and purple and silk, and scarlet and marble, and beasts and sheeps, and horses and chariots, and slaves and souls of men, and all things. Can ye not buy and sell? For all is buried in the sea of blood, because thou hast turned thy back on thy father and mother. Notice it's saying father and mother. And worship the beasts who would build the paradise of the stones. Drop the sword, my brothers, and take hold of my hand. And as our fingers clasped, I saw in the distance a great city, white and shining in the far horizon, blowing an alabaster, and there were voices of thundering and lightning, and there was great earthquake, such as I had not seen since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake, and so great. And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and the great city came in remembrance before God, to give unto her the cup of thy wine, of the fiercest of his wrath. And every isle fell away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent. And the mighty angel took up the stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, and saying thus with violence, and cast it into the sea, and saying thus with violence shall the great city be thrown down. All right. So this part to me is really similar to the book of Revelation, but it gives it the divine feminine. So I really feel that that's what was taken out. I had to put that caveat in there because it talks about her again, if we notice. Pronoun changes. And shall be found no more. And the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and of singers and of trumpets, and be heard no more in day. And no craftsman and whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in day. And the sounds of the millstone shall be heard no more in day. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in day. And the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in day. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, and provided thou sources for all men to see. In her were found the blood of the prophets, and saying the great city be thrown down and found no more. And the voice of the harpers and musicians and of pipers and of singers and of trumpets be heard no more at all in day. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he will be heard and found no more in day. And the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in day. And light of the candle shall shine no more at all in day. And the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in day. For thy merchants, for the great men of the earth, providing thy sources of all nations to see. And in her were found the blood of the prophets and the saints, and all who were slain upon the earth. And my brothers laid hold of my hand, and they struggled out of the pool of slime. Okay, he's still working to get them out of that slime. And stood bewildered on the sea of sand, and the skies opened and washed their naked bodies with rain. And I heard a voice from heaven as a voice of many waters, as a voice of a great thunder. And I beheld the voice of harpers harping in their with their harps, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne. I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the song of day and of night, and the everlasting gospel, to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, until they have climbed from the pit of slime, and stand naked and washed by the rain before the throne. And the angel cried, Fear God, and give glory unto him, for the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness doth he judge. His eyes were a flame of fire, and then on his head were many crowns, and he was clothed in blazing light, and his feet were bare, and his name was called Word of God. And his name was called the Word of God. And the Holy Brotherhood followed him on white horses as well, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And he entered the eternal garden, in whose midst stood the tree of life, and the rain-washed naked throngs which came before him, trembling to receive his judgment, for his sins were many, and they had defiled the earth. Yea, he had destroyed the creators of the land and sea, poisoned the grounds, and defiled the air, and buried alive the mother who had given him birth. Now that's interesting. I want to repeat that because we were talking about that, how they didn't have respect of the mother. So yea, he had destroyed the creators of the land and sea, poisoned the grounds, defiled the air, and buried alive the mother who had given him birth. Okay. But I saw not what befell him, for my vision changed, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth passed away, and there was no more sea. And I heard the holy city of the brotherhood coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Okay. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Lo, the mountains of the Lord's house is established in the top of the mountain, and it is exalted above the hills, and all people shall flow into it. Come ye, let us go up to the mountains of the Lord, to the house of God, that he will teach us of his ways, and he will walk in his path, where out of the holy brotherhood shall go forth the law. Behold, the tabernacle of God behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he shall dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with him, and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, no crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things have passed away. For those who made war shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning forks. Nations shall not lift up sword against nations, neither shall they be at war any more, for the former things are passed away. And he spoke again, Behold, I make all things new. Okay, so let's stop there. Again, this is HP Maven. We are reading through the work that was actually the backdrop for the King James Version of the book of Revelation. So we're getting through this, and as I said before, we're learning a little bit more outside of the King James Bible for the ancient texts. Okay, so we bring out things like this to kind of show that. All right, so now we're going to end it. We're going to go ahead and drop the gavel and keep moving after this. HP Maven on the BM8 platform. We shall continue the investigation of the book of Revelation and where it came from exactly and how it was inspired. All right, till next time.